filibuster basically is a protection for the minority. And so the House, in a majority vote, can do a hot rush to judgment, but the Senate is going to be the cooling saucer to be more deliberative if the rules are not abused. We've hardly ever seen a filibuster utilized, for example, to deny a judge until recently, until the last 5, 6, 7 years. And then we've seen it used over and over, sometimes by Democrats, sometimes by Republicans. Even in the very contentious, remember the Anita Hill hearings in the Judge Bork thing? A filibuster was not used so that the threshold had to be 60 votes for Judge Bork. Judge Bork did not get 50 votes if the vice president had voted for him, which would have been 51, or he didn't get 51 votes if the vice president wasn't going to participate as president of the Senate. But we've seen the abuse of that. And here's what happens. This is why you can just grind the Senate to a halt. First of all, you've got a major controversial piece of legislation. You want to get it to the floor. The majority leader makes a motion to proceed. You go through a filibuster on that. First of all, the filibuster starts, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all standing out there on the floor talking all the time like Jimmy Stewart did in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And the majority leader then has to file a motion for cloture. You can't let that ripen until 2 legislative days. So now, just on the motion to proceed, you've lost 2 days of the week. And then, if you got 60 votes on the motion to proceed to the bill, then mandatorily, if the opposition insists, there's 30 hours of debate before you ever get to the bill. Then you can go through the whole process again. On any amendment that's brought up, well, I think that instead of, if we can get 67 votes, which I'm not sure that we can, rather than go and trying to throw out the filibuster, which I mean, we can have an academic discussion about it. Let's do something that's worthwhile that we can accomplish. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get consensus in the Senate to at least do away with the filibuster on the motion proceed, so that you could do the filibuster on the bill or on any amendment on the bill. And we'll see. I don't know if the stuff is there. Now, there are other reforms in the rules. For example, any senator on any appointment can make a secret hold. In other words, that you can't bring up that nomination for a vote. I think we ought to know who that senator is. And so I think we ought to abolish secret holds. So that's the kind of rules reform that I